Hello all, I'm Sajid here from Coimbatore, GURUJEE Institute of Science. See, today my video is about NIT rank list based on JEE Mains rank list or NIT, how to get admission to NIT, which was asked by few students. So I thought my video, if I share, it will be beneficial for everybody. So let us understand the NIT rank list publication, how the NIT rank list are being published. Few things is that first thing is that the normalization of a score is there, which JEE Mains is conducted in multiple and a difficulty level, which we know that question papers may vary. So to ensure fairness, the scores are normalized using a percentile score based on the fairness, the scores candidates from respective sessions, which has been taken. So normalization of a score is happens. Then compilation of result is there, which NTA, the conducts the percentiles, those it has been taken like from both the session, like April and January sessions, it has been taken. Then there is a tie-breaking criteria, which is very important, which we need to understand what are the tie-breaking criteria is available for NIT rank list, like JEE Mains rank list for NIT. The criteria is like mathematics percentile, then we have physics percentile, then we have chemistry percentile, then candidates negative marks, the more number of negative marks. Okay, then candidates age. So these are all some criteria for the mains rank list criteria for NIT admissions. Okay, now admission criteria to NITs, which we need to understand that generally the JEE Mains rank list is published in the last week of May every year, which means before the JEE Advanced exam, which is published. Based on that, students can think of whether to go for JEE through JEE Mains to NIT or to go to wait for the JEE Advanced. Those who are all written JEE Advanced, wait for those results or that exam result. So here the eligibility is that like a candidate, we know that JEE Mains rank list is very much important for getting into NIT. At the same way, a student must score 75% of mark from any board he or she is into, which means CBSE or ICSE or IB or state board. The student must have qualified or got a mark of 75% and above in the school, the board examination, or else they should be in the top 20 percentile of their respective board. But of course, there is some age, the relaxation is there, depends on the community criteria, because based on the caste, there is a reservation. Okay, but ultimately we need to understand 75% is must, or we must be in the top 20 percentile of the board from where I wrote the examination. All right. Then there is a JOSA counseling, that joint seat allocation authority. Their counseling we need to appear, and the counseling process is must for seat allocation. Okay. Now seat allocation is based on the JEE rank list. And the process is basically, that you have to fill up the applications and other thing as per the NIT's criteria where you are applying. Okay. And there are some policies based on as I told you, the community, etc. Okay. Now, categories of seats is that there is a home seat quota, all right, which we need to understand. A certain percentage of seat in NIT are reserved for candidates who are students who are completed their qualifying examination from the state where the NIT is located. All right, that's one criteria. And there is a state quota. The remaining seats are available for candidates from other states. Okay, so one is state quota is available, other state quota is available. Now, document verification is the next process. The candidate must provide all the necessary documents, which means your JEE Mains rank card and your the 12th board and community certificates, age proof, all those things to be submitted. All right. So fees acceptance is that seat allocation. After the seat allocation, you have to remit the fees. Okay. So these are all few things which we need to understand. I said very important. 75% must be from the board, and you should have 75%, or you should be in the top 20%. And to get into the JEE Mains rank list, okay, which I'll tell you in the following after some time, like what should be the mark required, okay, which like how much mark if you get in JEE Mains, you will be able to get into NITs. Okay, so generally you understood the criteria. Now, candidates who score, like I said, told you, the students who scored a 75 percentage, and communities, they have some relaxation on the 75 percentage. Okay. So, for example, the score is nothing but like a 250, 250 and above will be a good score, basically, for getting a JEE Mains rank. As per the JEE Mains, if a student is getting 250 and above, that will be a good score for to get a good rank to get into NIT, which will be approximately for a general candidate, which will be 15,000 to 30,000. Okay, which will be approximately 15,000 to 30,000 will be the all India rank, 250 and above. What I'm talking about for a general category. So this will be a good rank for a good NIT, for a good core courses which you are, if you are planning. So candidates should be in general with that the candidate lesser than 10,000 is high value and high demand, or high courses like computer science courses, kind of EC kind of a courses in a very well established NITs. If you are lesser than 10,000 rank in the JEE Mains rank list, there is a higher chances. All right. Now, since computer science and engineering is one of the highly stream, okay, many opt. So the cutoff is generally kept like for computer science, it is 95 percentage and above. All right. So JEE Mains, if you are for getting a computer science course, you should have in JEE Mains 95 percentage and above. Okay. So because computer science is a core branch and many will opt for it, so that cutoff is kept a little high. So and we all know that the cutoff this year, like all the criteria's cutoff and all, which you would have already seen. So let us see let's see from the bottom. Okay, what happens like the lower IITs, which is recently taken the NIT list, or taken to NIT list, or which is still working in the rented premises, those NITs, 130 to 150 score in the JEE Mains. So of the total mark, from the JEE Mains total mark, 130 to 150 mark will be able to get like civil mechanical kind of a course. Now, the other one is approximately for computer science, you should have 150 to 170. And the average NIT is you should be anything 170 plus to 190. Now, the top IIT is 190 to 200, 230 it goes. Little, I would say some renowned IITs. And if you see the extremely good IITs, which are like NIT Trichy, NIT Warangal, NIT Surathkal, and NIT Delhi, all these things, if you look at it, you should be about 230 plus. Okay, for getting a good courses. And other than that, I already told you, but I didn't say about computer science or EC or something like that. For computer science, generally it is taken 95 percentage in JEE Mains. Hope you understood now this scenario. Now, as I told you, any for example, if a student is 99.5 percentile means there are about I would say you should be 99 percentile means approximately 1,500 rank or below that. Okay, closer to 1,500 rank. So 99.5 percentile. So you can take in such a way that how many students will be there on that one particular point itself. Okay, so then there are minimum mark is 110, 120 is also considered, but you won't get a seat what you wanted, or computer science or the core branches are far away from you. You can only look at the lower NITs, or lower means I didn't mean that the NITs are bad, but I said recently added to the list, or it is just coming up with the facilities and infrastructure. Okay, so these are all few criteria. So I said mark I told you. Anything 230 plus in the JEE Mains will be considered to NIT, the best NITs, and lesser than that, considered for other IITs who are just coming up. But if you look at it, anything 95.5 percentage, in JEE Mains is required to assure a good seat in good NIT. Okay, that alone you understand. And the 75 percentage in board is must, or it is top 20 percentile. Of the respective board you should score, you should be in the top 20 percentile. And of course, there are relaxation for the reservations. Okay, so these are the, and you have to apply for the JOSA counseling, and you should, after the counseling, you should submit the certificate verification. And after verification, the seat allocation will come, and only then you have to pay the fee structure. All right. Now, commonly, there are another question which has come, many are come to me and told that, what if only wanted to go to NIT, not IITs, or, what if writing JEE Advanced not qualified, and or if not written JEE Advanced at all, and what are the opportunity for getting into NIT, and how they need to study. Will the coaching in the school will be sufficient, or coaching institute, going to coaching institute will be an advantage? Okay. So I would like a few things which I've analyzed from my experience and from Guruji last 13 years in the field, what we have been with schools and we've been with our coaching centers. We have analyzed a few things. For example, teachers in the school should be able to understand what is CBSE syllabus and what is JEE syllabus, and they should be in a position to relate both the subjects and both the syllabus, and they should know the weightage of JEE and weightage of CBSE, because CBSE, sometimes they delete few portions which will be very essential for JEE clearing JEE mains. So how do they balance these topics in the class, which matters a lot? And teachers should be awareness of the student's strength and weakness, because not all the students in a classroom are wanted purposefully sitting for writing JEE, because in school means you can get the students who are not interested in JEE but pursuing for some other examination, or only looking forward for the board excellence. So those students in the class may not be giving good attention. So the other students who are part of the course, how do they manage? So the teacher should have an ability to manage the students who are interested, not interested, having potential, not having potential. So this will be a quality of the teacher in the school. But whereas this comes to coaching center, what happens? Only the interested student comes. So that it is the whole segment in the class is aiming towards one goal. So it will be easy for a teacher to take up the maximum output. In the other case, it will be difficult. Now, the interactions are very important, because in the classroom interaction, if there is a student who is in the school talking about JEE more during the break time, or they wanted to do an interaction with the students, not many will be interested to do such interactions, like which IIT, what offers, and what Sundar Pichai doing nowadays, and which are all the IITians are best in the world, and what is their pass scale, and how they need to work it out, and what syllabus and what question paper to be practiced. Not everybody are interested in that. And teacher will not be in a position to bring up such question papers which is practiced 15-20 years to the classroom, and utilize the whole school hours for this. Because CBSE, when you have to write with steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Likewise, you need to go with the question to answers. But when it comes to JEE mains, you need the steps is not important here. Timing is important, because you need to attempt one JEE question maximum 2 minutes time. All right. And one JEE mains question will be 2 10-mark questions, equivalent to 2 10-mark questions of CBSE. So how do you do one particular question in 2 minutes? Whereas in CBSE, 3 minutes or 4 minutes is not the matter, even though you have to stick into the time, because the steps are important there. So matching up both the pattern of teaching, both the syllabus in one single class will be very difficult. Because if a teacher is taking a paper and telling that this is a CBSE book and I'm reading this NCERT book, this will be sufficient enough for JEE mains, which will be literally difficult, because you need to understand the pattern of JEE questions, how it is being asked from CBSE book. That is very important, for which you need to have a practice, numerical practice, number of numericals you need to practice. Okay. Then the school should have number of materials with you, JEE mains materials, and track record of old students who have passed from that particular school, and they are coming to the class and interacting with the students on and off, and giving some ideas and advices, and why they need to look at for IITs. So some track record is very much required for the school. Then the experience, well-versed teachers, they need to know the pattern and methodologies. I would say, if a teacher is taking CBSE topics, because I'm a physics teacher, so I understand if a teacher is teaching current electricity for 12th standard, which is generally having 4 to 5% or 5 to 6% weightage every year in JEE mains. So, which will be not lesser than 3 questions or 4 questions asked every year, or for roughly 3 questions are every year asked. So need not to be that CBSE given the same weightage for that topic. And if there are students who are not good current electricity but good at magnetism and the other areas what you call the other chapters of 12th standard. But if a teacher is telling that to that student, you must study current electricity, only then you can score, maybe that student will go wild, because JEE never say that like that. JEE's got its own syllabus. That syllabus is given different weightages. Each topics are given different weightages. So if I don't know, I don't want to learn current electricity, I want to learn only for CBSE mark, I can focus for that alone. And I can focus some other topic which I am totally good at. From that, I can score 200 out of 200 or 100 out of 100. So need not to be that I have to be learning all 15 physics chapters for JEE mains. but it is not the case for CBSE. As per the pattern, you have to go. As per the deleted portion, you have to go. So the teacher must be aware of that, how to do this in the classroom, which is very important, because otherwise student will get wild. Because I've seen this, because the student is coming and telling that, okay, sir, I'm not good at trigonometry, but I can do geometry best. Now, can I do trigonometry questions from using geometry? If I say no, then I'll not be a good teacher, right? So I should know that, okay, what level it is to be taught to him, so that he is capable of doing in a different way, or analyzing those questions in a different way. Am I right? So this should be, these are all a concern in the school, which we have seen, and school encouraging the students like extra activities, extracurricular activities during this period, and taking out those timing and conducting these classes. The morality and the total health wise and mental wise, the mental refreshness, everything lost by the student. So these are all few concerns. If schools can manage this, this is good. And then the regular mock test conducting along with the CBSE test. Now you give a CBSE question paper, you give a JEE question paper. So, or you give both the paper mixed one to the student. So now CBSE question paper, if a child is going, and which one he should focus more, whether he should do JEE Mains more in the school, or he should do CBSE more in the school, so that he is able to do JEE Mains. Or if he do CBSE more, then he has to do school portions more. So this will be a kind of challenging for a school teacher to do this. So parents should understand about these kind of difficulties. And if anybody is addressing this very detailedly, and the coaching institute is very capable of doing this kind of challenges, then it is well and good. If not, actually, for the namesake, it will not work out. And because this is my experience. Now let's just look at the coaching centers. What happens, like a teacher from morning reporting time to till going. Well, the teacher is searching the questions of last 10 years or 15 years, and what topic, from those topics, how many questions are asked, and what is the weightage is given to those topics, what PPT is to be taken in the PowerPoint, how the elaborated way to be done, or what is the challenging on every question, how the tricky questions are being solved, or if the particular topics, how many tricky questions are asked, numerical questions are asked, integers questions are asked. So teacher work out on this from day one to the reporting time to till evening. So what happens is that the teacher is more experienced, and in between what happens, there are different publishers and different authors' books are available in the library. So teacher go and take all these books and refresh, with these books, like search with these books, like which book, what type of questions are asked, and from one particular topic, using one particular formula or topic, how different ways, different authors are given the different solutions in the methodology of solving. So which solving methodology will go to, not every student solve the problem in the same methodology, but we can't say that the answer is wrong. So we have to understand that which methodology of solving will save the time. So the teacher will do that in the coaching institute. Okay. Then there will be a structured timing. Syllabus is timing, like, each hour, like for example, magnetism, or if it is motion in straight line, motion in a plane of 11th standard, rectilinear motion, these topics and all, how many hours to be taught, and if you teach this many hours, how many numericals are to be done, how many exercises are to be done. This coaching institution teacher will be doing it. This research will be done with the teacher, and the detailed performance analysis is being done. Who does best test on the test, and what is to be done with those students. And if a student is not able to understand, how a special class is to be arranged, how a extra motivational classes to be arranged, how to motivate that student to come up. So these are all some advantages which you get in a coaching institute. Am I right? So the competitive environment outside, like, what are all the competitive environment outside, and accordingly every day the things to be changed, what you call the question paper to be changed, and the opportunities changing in the market, like whether it is computer science, means whether computer science where and all it is available. So variety of these things are being done, and the question banks, the number of question banks which is available, 10-15,000 of question banks of subject wise, which a teacher uses every day. And teacher use a methodology, like, before the student enter to the classroom, teachers are well prepared, because 15-20 years of experience doesn't mean that teacher is capable of teaching JEE questions, because teacher should have a knowledge all these, because 15 years, what are all the questions are being asked, from where and all it is being asked, and how the best solving methodology towards each topic, and how much time the child is taking towards doing this kind of problem, number of years. Because one example is that if you take one particular problem, first time you did, it took 10 minutes, second time you did, it took 10 minutes, third time you did, it took 10 minutes, and if you do the fifth time also, it took 10 minutes. Now the same question is there in the examination hall. Let us understand. You are going to take 10 minutes, not more than that, or at least 9 minutes you are going to take. So if you do that 9-minute question sitting in the examination hall, you lost the time of doing minimum 5 questions. So the teacher of coaching center would have definitely done a research on this, like, what is happening with the timing of a particular question with a student. All right. So this and all some criteria which you need to consider, how best it suits for your children. In case you are aiming JEE mains and at least NIT, if not IITs, or if IITs, then JEE advanced, what is to be done. So in my next video, I'll come up with JEE advanced criteria and how you need to do after getting JEE advanced selected. All right. So JEE mains, the rank list, I hope all of you would understood. And any more question, do reach to Guruji. I'm always available. You can talk to me through phone or our website, www.mygurujee.com. So thank you so much for time being. Do well. All the best to all students.